analysts might be a tough decision right now.
My team did absolutely
NFL games that were like, whoa.
I actually don't
had
understand.
a lot of mixed feelings.
Welcome, Disgruntled. We have another guest here on the League of the Wings.
I look fantastic. No one fucking knows, but I look great.
So, Titus, we have to set the mood.
Who said it?
Oh, fuck.
Are you doing this on camera? Like you want people to see you saying the mood?
Yeah.
Okay. Our desk or table is so messy right now. There's just a random mask,
Why the fuck am I shaking so much?
Dunkin' stuff, bottle opener,
I got one lip.
some pins,
one
a bunch of different glasses. There's actually 2 bottle openers.
Do you want the pink one or do you want the white one?
I'll take pink because it matches my outfit. So. Bring it over here, brother.
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 Buddha. Buddha.
Song of the week, new segment. Family Ties with Kendrick Lamar by Baby Keem. Good song.
I thought you were going to say the Kanye, one of Kanye's
No.
songs.
I find it funny that Certified Lover Boy is getting talked about on the same level as Donda, as if like that's a good thing, because to me Donda was so bad and people saying that Certified Lover Boy was so good that's up there with Donda. It's just like, it's sad that this is where music is at, where those two are the most talked about albums. And I can't really say much because I haven't heard much of Certified Lover Boy, so it's not like I can have real input in that. But if it's being compared to Donda, that's just that reference point alone makes me like sad for the music industry. Like, this is the best we got right now.
Do you want to do a review of Donda? Should we?
That's my review.
Okay. Should this be Tunes for
They
Two?
should have me as a writer on like Pitchfork. And it's just, you know how Pitchfork or like a lot of music critics just use like all those big words and jargon and no one really understands what the fuck they mean, because it's just like you have to take music theory to understand.
Yeah.
Like, they should just insert me at the end as like a too long didn't read thing. And it's just me going like, meh. Just to sum up whatever article. I wonder what Pitchfork did say about Donda. Let's find out. This has nothing to do with the episode. We won't really be talking about any of this further in the episode, but...
No, this is literally the entire episode.
Okay, they give it a 6. I would say the same. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? I feel like that's really high for you. I don't know why.
What? No, I think Donda's like... I mean, it's Kanye. Kanye has great production, so it's not like I could say... Like, he has that going for him, always, in any project. It's just a matter of writing, performance... originality.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's just way too overhyped, I guess, for what it was out to be.
Welcome to League of the Wings. It's our first regular season prediction episode. Last episode we kind of did it with the NFL awards and just predicting regular season records, but this is where we start going week by week, predicting every game. Same thing we did last year. Caleb won. I don't know by how much, but it was a fair amount. I think we did pretty good. I think we were around like the 60%,
Yeah.
like correct, prediction.
Yeah. I
So more than half. Like that's
pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like NFL analysts, but I feel like even some NFL analysts.
No, I
did
don't
a
even
lot
think
worse,
NFL analysts like do too much better than what we did. So
what we're saying is that we should get hired on Fox.
no, fuck Fox.
We should get hired on NBC.
Sure, I guess.
We should get hired on NFL.
Okay.
We should do Monday Night Footballs. Do you want to do? All right. Do you want to do Monday?
Did you know
Night
that
Football?
the Manning brothers are doing some of the? I don't know if it's Sunday night or Monday night games. But it's an alternate broadcast. It's not the main one. You have to go to an alternate one to watch
That's
it.
lame.
Yeah, but you know I'm tuning into the alternate
Yeah.
one. It's the Manning brothers. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Fuck the one Manny though.
Which one?
You know.
No,
You know what I'm
I
talking
don't know which one.
The beloved Colt.
Archie? Cooper?
So
Cooper's son, who's like a I don't know. I guess that guy's like the next big thing.
Yeah.
Playing high school right now.
But do you want to do Monday night football or Sunday night football or Thursday night football? Which night do you want to do?
Oh, like we broadcast.
Yeah. Like to choose.
If I had to choose, I would do Thursday night football because I feel like the matchups in Thursday night football are more of like joke matchups. Like they're not the most hype ones that you'd put on Sunday and Monday night. And we're like the joke.
Yeah.
We're like the joke commentary duo. So it's just a whole dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But you come because it's a dumpster fire. You come to watch it.
We bring the comedic aspects that has
Yeah,
never seen
like
before.
when it's fucking Jaguars versus Lions and everyone's like, oh, fuck this. But then they see like, oh, people are there to make fun of all the players. That sounds interesting. And so they tune in.
You know, that makes sense. I was going
Like
to
imagine a good old, we're just riffing on Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence. Like that'd be great.
So you're saying last year when the Eagles-Giants played Thursday night football, that wasn't the best game that you've ever seen in your entire life?
Listen, Colts-Titans was one of the best games I've ever seen in my entire life. And that was was it Thursday night? I'm pretty sure it's Thursday night. Maybe it was Monday night. Let me look back.
Yes.
Colts 2020 season. It was the game they won against the Titans last year in their 2-game series. It was November 12th, 2020, and that was a Thursday. So they're not always joke matchups, but most of the time they are.
Do you want to talk about the Tom Brady thing that you brought up before the podcast?
Ooh.
Okay.
No, I don't remember what I say.
Wait, okay. Let's say what we're doing
Okay.
first, and then we can jump into, because like I want to do mini stories, then do what we're doing for like
Mini stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going over each game this weekend, which we did last year. So basically, it's the same setup as last year, where we go over, we predict each game and just say who's winning and who's not winning. I'm surprised that you didn't block out your.
I can do
things.
that. I forgot that I used to do that. It's been so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to. I'm not going to do that anymore.
It's
but-
whatever.
Yeah. But so we're going to predict the games, and then we're going to jump into fantasy a little bit towards the end of this podcast like we did last year. So the same formula, different people. Okay. Same formula, different studio. Nope, same studio.
Nothing's changed, Caleb.
I just want to add a little bit more spice, so we're not just fucking
New candles.
Yeah,
New poster
there
on
we
the
go.
wall. New mics.
new setup, because we were over there.
No, we were
Right.
always really in this corner
We were.
most of the time. Yeah.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
Back when the
Yeah.
tables were here, we were just.
Yeah,
in front.
but different setup though, because
yeah,
like we changed
still a
it.
different setup.
Yeah, so that's different. I just wanted to add a little new spin to it, so it's not like
Yeah, no one cares.
I care.
All right, whatever makes you feel better.
Last podcast didn't do so good, and I'm kind of sad. It only has 11
Hey,
views.
comment under this video if you like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So yeah, mini stories. I think I remember what you were talking about with Brady.
Yeah, with his knee.
Yeah, knee brace. He had been wearing for like 13, maybe 16 years. I forget the exact number. I guess he was never known for being a mobile quarterback, and now he's in his 40s, and he's definitely not supposed to be known as a mobile quarterback whatsoever. But recently he said that he is taking it off this season. He's not going to be wearing the knee brace anymore, and he feels a lot more comfortable moving around. He feels like, yeah, he said specifically, like, I'm not going to turn into any Michael Vick, but, I'll be able to, do a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's scary.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Just like imagine the potential he would have had if he didn't have the brace on for 13 years.
But he is also known for being a quarterback who doesn't really get injured and has many consecutive starts to his name.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have helped for sure. Because was the player's best ability its availability.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking cliche, but it's kind of true.
I mean, it's a cliche for a reason, and Tom Brady only got hurt for 1 year and was out for I don't know how many games, but it was when Matt Castle came in, and they still went I think 11-5 or 10-6, and that was the first time that they didn't win a division.
And his consecutive starting streak was broken because of Deflategate. So, that was funny. I had no regrets. But so there's that. Deshaun Watson is not the starting quarterback of the Texans. He is on the roster but won't be playing. Guess who is? Tyrod Taylor. If you don't know who Tyrod Taylor is, he was on the Chargers last year, played for first couple of games before the team doctor punctured his lung. What? Crazy. Go back to our episode where we talked about that. I do not remember when that was, but just do some digging. Maybe Caleb will find it for you when he's editing, but who knows? That was a crazy storyline, but it kind of faded away because Justin Herbert came out of the woodworks and just fucked shit up, broke some records, and everyone forgot Tyrod ever got his lung punctured. But now he's playing for the Texans, and maybe he's going to have some redemption there. It's not exactly the most ideal place to get a redemption arc, but if he can get them more than 4 wins, which is what they got last year,
I feel like that's a huge jump.
that is.
Not huge
And
jump
he's
from
not even
last year,
Deshaun
but-
Watson.
Yeah.
That's the thing you have to remember. And Deshaun Watson's probably the only reason they got 4 wins anyways. So if you can get them 4 or more, like, even if he got them 3 wins, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, 3. Honestly,
In a 17 games schedule now, like, if he did that, I think he's my hero. Comeback player of the year.
honestly, if he gets 2 wins, like, but he got
Hey, dude. I wonder what the odds are for him getting comeback player of the year, because if he were to get it, you would get so much money.
Yeah, that would be like millions.
A lot of money.
Depend on how much you put in though. But he got to start at Buffalo, right?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Buffalo, and he brought them to a playoff game. And the first, it was, Tyrod Taylor. It was their first.
Tyro Taylor.
It was the first time that they were in the playoffs in 17 years or whatever, some crazy shit like that. He got to start. What the fuck? He was a Raven. He was a Raven, Bills. Then he was on the Browns. Then he was in the Chargers. I thought he got his start on the Bills. That's so fucking
Well,
weird.
you're wrong.
But he was a starter on the Bills. Like almost 9,000 yards at Buffalo.
It's more
But-
than Caleb has.
Yeah, a lot more. But yeah, and then I'm trying to think of how they got in. I think it was, remember that one year when Buffalo went in, and it was like that crazy thing
No.
with the Ravens. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna end the story because I barely remember it.
It's probably when I was living in Egypt and just tuned out of NFL. So
Yeah.
all I know is like the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I guess starting in 2012 and before then is what I know. That's my reference point of the NFL. Anything that happened between 2012 and 2019, couldn't tell you. A little bit.
Just
I know Odell was hot shit, I guess. Antonio Brown, sure.
Look, just the most important thing that you need to know was the 2017 season when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That's literally all you need to know.
I do remember that playoffs. I was definitely watching that.
That's all you need to know in that time span. Just that season. Nothing
Really
else.
special. Potential storylines that we could see coming our way because of this development with Deshaun Watson and Tyrod Taylor. Let's say Tyrod doesn't pan out. Who's the hottest free agent on the market right now? It's Mr. Cam Newton. Imagine inserting Cam Newton in the dumpster fire that is the Houston Texans organization. That is pay to see TV right there.
I would literally watch every single game just to see how bad they would play.
Because, like, when he went to the Patriots, it was like, all right, well, he's on the Patriots. He can't do terrible. And he actually didn't. But now just put him on a team where there's just nothing good.
Yeah.
No good coach. Actually, that's a new coach. We can't really say that for sure. That's unfair.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. It's like nothing really good going for them. In a division that is highly contested between the Titans and the Colts. Like, yikers.
Yikers. We were like kind of creating like scenarios what would happen with the Deshaun Watson
Right.
thing.
Deshaun
the
Watson gets
podcast.
traded to the Patriots.
It's-
Mac Jones goes to the Texans.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence play 2 times every year.
That would be insane. But if Mac Jones would go to Texans, he'll do god awful. I think
Yeah.
The only way that Mac Jones is good is with Bill Belichick. No one else. Maybe a couple other teams you could insert Mac Jones with. He could probably do pretty well in like Kansas City Chiefs, maybe.
Yeah, he's definitely like a unit, like a
Systematic
system quarterback. The same as Tom Brady.
Yeah, but
What? Who said that? So yeah, we could also see him going to the Bucks, because who knows how long Tom Brady's going to be kicking it, you know? So
yeah,
just trade him over there, and just see what happens.
and like it's in Florida too. Like Deshaun Watson would be in Florida with the Bucks. That's like the scenario we're talking about. Like they're it's Florida. It's like I want to offend some people in Florida, but I don't really care. But they're a little bit.
I don't really care.
No. That's how they talk. No, I'm just joking. But
wow.
But yeah,
Damn, you're losing like all your viewership.
What? All my Bucks? Literally, Bucks fans hate me.
I would too.
Yeah, but you know, Watson is a perfect fit for the Bucks because they're a little scummy place. We live in a little scummy area.
How about this? The Steelers. Because what do they got going for them right now? Dwayne Haskins and Ben Rowe, who's like in his last season, maybe.
Yeah.
It's over.
Or the Eagles.
Yo, imagine a tandem of Watson and Najee Harris. That's cool. I would like to see that.
Yeah. See, Watson is one of the few quarterbacks that if you implemented it in any team, he would succeed.
Not any.
I mean,
Texans?
you know, never mind. But like, okay, excluding like this past couple of seasons, he did exceed in like Houston.
His
good.
personal stats, sure,
Yeah.
but overall, not great.
I mean, he never won a playoff game, but like he got them there. That's kind of what
Sure.
matters.
I
mean, look
guess.
at like I said, Texans. Like that's a little bit success. Like
I mean, they also had Hopkins back then.
that is true, but still.
He kind of needed Hopkins to do that, so it was kind of like a system thing, a little bit.
Yeah, but let's transition to a little bit of preseason. We don't have to stay on this topic for a little bit, but I did want to get like some touches on this podcast because I did want to go over a little bit of preseason. Not too much, just kind of like the base storylines, because we kind of already went over the big storylines over the preseason last podcast, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, what happened?
Eagles sucked. That I didn't really pay attention too much. I already uploaded a video a couple days ago about the Eagles preseason, and I went in depth in the training camp and everything, so they already know my opinion. But I was gonna ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
How did the Colts do? If you paid attention at all.
Well, Wentz was out for all the preseason games, so we didn't get to see him tossing it around. And, I mean, who knows how much he would have been really playing in those preseason games anyways. A lot of the teams we played against really weren't using their starters anyways. Like, Lions agreed with the Colts that neither team would use their starters. It was just like this quarterback battle between Jacob Eason and Sam Ellinger for potentially the start in week 1 if Wentz wasn't ready, but also just being the backup quarterback. Ellinger is a rookie from Texas that we got in 4th, 5th round. I forget exactly where. And his character was what really drove the Colts to draft him. He's not exactly known for his big arm. He's not like one of those players that is going to launch it very far or very consistently. But he was proving himself pretty well in training camp. He was at some point he got even snaps with the starters in training camp and in preseason, as with Eason. And Eason he was trending downwards. But after the first preseason game, Eason did pretty well, and then started showing more confidence in training camp and through the rest of the preseason. And he basically took back his backup position from Sam Ellinger. And I was always a big fan of Jacob Eason. He was drafted a year ago, but didn't play at all. He was basically redshirted, just learning from Phillip Rivers and all that. Jacoby Brissett. And he's definitely like the opposite of Sam Ellinger. He's got that big arm. He can make those big explosive plays. It really just comes down to if he'll get a chance to really show it off in a real game. But, I mean, it's always up and down with Wentz because he hasn't decided to get vaccinated yet. He still says he's considering it. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. seems like it's more of like a family thing. Like his family's not comfortable with him getting it. We know he's definitely on the conservative end. Not to make it a political thing, but like, you know, just statistically speaking, happens to go that way. I think that Eason will probably at some point in the season get a start, just because if Wentz doesn't get vaccinated, and if he's not ready even to injury wise to start, Eason's going to get a chance to show off, and who knows how that will go. Darius Leonard got a contract extension too, I guess. So did Braden Smith, right tackle. Quentin Nelson got the rookie extension, the team option thing. I don't know how that works. It's like a first round thing. Like it's calculated. Like if they get an all pro or something, then they get this amount of money and an extension. I don't exactly know how that works, but
I think they can extend it to like a 5th year. And
yeah,
then
5th year option, I think is what it's called. They did that, and then he'll probably get extended next off season. So yeah, I guess that's a big thing. A lot of Colts are on the lower end of the spectrum as far as vaccination rate goes, and it typically looks like that it's the starters and the leaders of the locker room that aren't getting it. One reporter said that more than half of the starting offense is unvaccinated. So if something went really bad in the Colts organization, they would have to forfeit a game just from contact tracing. Like if the entire offense got contact traced, they would have to forfeit a game. Like that is not a high likelihood, but it's there. It's like there's a likelihood of it. Yeah, they're saying like T.Y. Hilton, Darius Leonard, unvaccinated, as far as I know.
It's a shame that starters aren't getting vaccinated, but the Eagles are one of the like in the top like people or teams that are vaccinated. I've been trying to look for more like recent reports, but like a month ago they were at 93% vaccinated, which is really good. They're almost at 100%. And I've been trying to look around for reports of the percentage of each individual team and what their percent are vaccinated with the players, but I couldn't find it. I don't know why. I feel like that should be pretty readily available since it is the NFL, and that's like a big thing. But it is a shame that vaccinations turned into a political thing, just like everything else in this entire world.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, those are my off-season storylines with the Colts. It's just been a very hectic offseason for the Colts. I mean, it didn't really start off that way. I mean, I guess it was kind of destined to. As soon as you like trade for Carson Wentz, people are gonna be talking shit. But I mean, even beyond that, it's just been very hectic and like up and down. Like, T.Y. Hilton also probably not starting till the midpoint of the season. Like, that's a bummer, especially since I think wide receiver is one of our weakest positions overall. I mean, we have like high ceiling guys like Pittman and Campbell. It's just like they haven't gotten a chance to prove it yet. Pittman just being young, and then Campbell being injured a lot. Yeah, and then there's the big like rookie storyline, I would say, is like this guy Michael Strawn, who I think was a 7th round pick, maybe 6th. Did not go to a Division I school, but he was tearing it up in the Division II school, and he got drafted, which is big news anytime a Division II player gets drafted, not just like an undrafted free agent, but drafted. He has just been doing nothing but impressing all the coaches and faculty members, I guess, in the organization. So he made this not starting team, but the 53-man roster.
Yeah, the practice squad. Or did he make the practice squad? Or
no, he made the 53-man roster.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, he wasn't on the practice squad. He's a 53-manner. So yeah.
So like Eagles specific, I don't really have much to say because I already said everything I needed to say in the Eagles update that I uploaded a couple days ago. I'm trying to think of like big storylines amongst other teams other than just the Colts and the Eagles.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah, Tim Tebow.
He was just terrible. In and out of there.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad because not feel bad. I just disappointed because I wanted to see him actually like play an actual game in the NFL, not get cut right away. But one, he had a terrible block that everyone's been memeing on.
Honestly, it looked bad, but it did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Like, it looked very awkward. I won't deny that. But when you're talking about the effect it had in just blocking the player and slowing him down, it worked.
Yeah.
So, like, how can you really, like, shit on it?
Yeah, I feel like he shouldn't have gotten cut because that's a little bit. Not.
No, I think he should have gotten
He
cut.
should've?
He should have never even been on the team.
Yeah.
But like they were saying from the beginning, it's like, oh, just to like, it's for the culture of the team to build leadership or whatever. So it wasn't like he was there because he was actually going to do much.
Yeah.
And so I guess, you know, they tested it out and they're like, okay, well, he either did what he needed to do or it wasn't as good for the culture as we thought it was.
Yeah. And then another highlight of that game as well, that it was a broken like route or whatever quarterback. I didn't know he was throwing was through it, and basically there was like a route that was coming this way, and it was intended for Tim Tebow, I'm pretty sure, but another wide receiver came and like took it and started running.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I would do that too, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, like, he didn't like steal it from him.
If I was a wide receiver playing limited reps in a preseason, wanting to get my opportunity, fuck this Tim Tebow guy who already had his shot in the NFL, coming in here and getting thrown to. I'm taking that ball for myself. I agree. Good on whoever that was.
He did not make the practice squad either, so he's just like not even a part of the NFL anymore. Philip
For now.
for now. I feel like we're going to see him return sooner or later.
No, I'm pretty sure he's going to be an analyst or whatever, like a broadcast.
Didn't you already try that?
I mean, he has been doing it on and off, but he's doing it again.
Yeah, but Philip Dorsett, the second, is on the Jaguars practice squad. Wasn't he a Colt?
He was a first-round pick for the Colts.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy how some of like the direction some of these players take.
Yeah.
But another little storyline is J.K. Dobbins is out for the season. He got injured in a
Oh, really?
he got injured in a preseason game, torn ACL, and he's like officially ruled out for the entire season.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some players that Josh has that are both out. I think it was Irv Smith, a Vikings tight end, and someone else. A little fantasy insight for you guys.
But yeah, that's sad to news, and it's crazy. Like, I would be so fucking mad to get a torn ACL during a preseason game in which it doesn't matter.
Oh, and it's J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins and Irv Smith.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Yeah,
Who was
but
the player that Glaudia had to take out?
I have no idea.
Transaction counter. No, not that. Recent activity.
Wait, is a transaction, like, what if you drop someone? Does that count as a transaction, or do you have to pick someone up?
I think it's add or drop. I don't think trades. Maybe trades count. I don't know.
So do you want to get like those are like the only couple preseason like highlights or like big news stories throughout the preseason games?
Oh, it was Etienne. I remember. Yeah, Etienne
Oh, yeah.
was out. And James Robinson is all of a sudden running back one in all fantasy leagues again.
I remember talking about that last podcast.
Okay, yeah, let's go into predictions.
Yeah, because there wasn't any other big news stories, right?
Yeah,
All right, so I'm going to reset the camera real quick.
go for it.
Okay, so we took up half an hour with just fucking mini stories introducing this son of a bitch in preseason news, but let's actually jump into what this
week
episode
one
is all about.
Preds. Because this week is an NFL game.
It is. When is the first NFL game?
No, just let that sink in, Caleb.
Yeah.
Don't just rush into it. Let it sink in. Okay. This week is an
week?
NFL game. We're finally back. Thursday night football, first game of the season. Last year we had an amazing game, in my opinion, between Texans and the Chiefs, in which Chiefs convincingly won. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, rookie, just had an amazing game.
That's crazy how downfall Texans had because like they
they were keeping it kind of tight.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, they
it's-
fell apart in the fourth quarter, I think, but
Yeah, but it's just crazy because like I didn't expect them to do too well, but like not as bad as they did.
the matchup is always the first game of the season, reigning Super Bowl champion versus random team. Doesn't really matter as long as they're there. And it's going to be the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, because a big headline is Dak Prescott. He just got an extension worth a lot of money, and he was out for most of last season when he was on track to break virtually every passing record ever because Cowboys aren't shit without it. So that's if Dak can replicate that, then Yo, watch out for the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
They're gonna be scary.
Ooh-wee. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, Zach Martin tested positive for COVID.
Oof.
And so their line is going to be depleted.
But it's only for 2 weeks. It's not like it's a serious.
Okay, but in the context of this one game,
Yeah.
let's think about the last game we saw in the NFL, not the preseason, but a Super Bowl matchup in which a very highly paid quarterback had none of his like all-star linemen playing for him, and he was just running around trying to make shit happen and couldn't against the Bucks. And now the Bucks are back against a depleted line, against a quarterback who just got back from injury, still kind of having a little bit of issues. If you haven't been keeping up with that Dak Prescott stuff, I feel like, and this is a hot take, Dak Prescott is going to get injured for the rest of the season starting this game. He's going to die. I don't know. Like, he's just going to get rolled off first quarter. They're not going to stand a chance, and that's why I'm choosing the Buccaneers to win the game.
That's so awful. Now you're gonna fucking like jinx him, and he's actually going to.
No, it would be the opposite, because jinxing is like the opposite ends up happening. So I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it will.
Yeah. That's such a bad thing to say. But I also say the Bucks. They're Super Bowl champs. They're playing against the Cowboys. Cowboys were one of the worst teams last year, and everything that you said about Dak and all of his injuries, he's just not going to be able to find any open players. And Ezekiel Elliott is also a big part of that offense, and if he can't get going, then
He wasn't doing too hot last season.
I also say the Bucks. So we both said the Bucks. Let's move on to Houston Texans and Jaguars.
Ooh.
First dumpster fire of the season.
A divisional matchup to start the season. We will see my boy Trevor Lawrence on the field balling out
I'm so tempted to put him
against Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, this is just a morning game. I won't even notice it, honestly. I guess it has some divisional implications, but like they're not going to be fighting for a playoff spot. Let's be honest. So yeah, I chose Jacksonville just because they seem like less of a dumpster fire out of the dumpster fires represented in this game. So
Yeah. I think that's due in part to Trevor Lawrence.
I feel like the firemen are showing up and they're doing all they can to stop the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Houston, it's like the firemen don't even care.
Yeah, it's like, and the firemen are also, instead of water in the hoses, it's
actually gasoline.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know what? You need Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Houston is so bad. Wait, this is a morning game? I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. I always thought that they waited to start introducing morning games. I don't know why. Is it in London?
What? No. What do you mean? I always say morning games, but it's at 12, so it's an afternoon game, but it's not as late in the afternoon as the other matchups because it goes 12, then 4, then.
It goes 1, then 4.
Okay, 1. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So I still consider a morning game because it's easier just to classify as morning, afternoon, night on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That kind of makes sense, but like on the East Coast, like I'm so used to afternoon games than late night games. Because like morning games.
But like it sounds so weird to say early afternoon, late afternoon, night when you could just be saying morning, afternoon, night.
Yeah, well, like when I think of morning games, it's like in London. Like morning game is like 9 in the morning to 10 in the morning.
I mean, that's just a huge exception though, because like that's London. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah, but like
Anyways, that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I call them morning games. You should know this by now.
I just keep forgetting that you call them morning games. Let's move on to Washington against the Chargers. I have the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. They have a better line than they did last year, and I think their winning issues, I think they have to have solved them by now. I mean, they have Herbert, they have Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler not as injured as last season. There's another, I think he's a Bosa brother. What is his name? Like I think he was injured last year after he was starting the season really well and then got injured. So like I think a fresh start is what they needed, and I think this is a team that they could easily beat. It's just they have to get over the fact that they have a top defensive line, and some really good playmakers in Gibson, and what was the other guy's name? Wide receiver.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry. They have to deal with Fitzmagic, but they've dealt with Fitzmagic before. I think the Dolphins played Chargers last year. I don't remember, but
Yeah, and then I don't think I said he was going to win next to Houston Jaguars for me, but I predicted the Jaguars to win that game. And I also picked the Chargers for this game because I think this is honestly going to be a very good game because I think they're equivalently matched or like same skill levels or same like whatever. So, but I just think the Chargers have an upper end and going to get the close game win. Now, it's your team versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Colts have not won a season opener since like the Peyton Manning days, I think. Maybe not. That might not be true. I think Andrew Luck did win his first ever NFL game, so that might be wrong. But what I'm trying to say is there has been a long streak of losing season openers. Notably, the one that hurts most probably is Jacksonville Jaguars last season when they had their only win against us, and it was to start the season. Terrible. But we're at home, and I don't know. We just got to. At some point, we have to end the streak. It's just like it comes down to, will Wentz be ready? Will other people not get contact traced, I guess? And will Seahawks get over their historical issue of always having a slow start at the beginning of seasons? I feel like that tends to happen. Like as a team, I guess Russell Wilson has a hot start always, but like as a team, they don't really do amazing. I don't know. We'll see. I just feel like we have a lot of new pieces to work with, and that just might take some time to really settle in at the beginning of the season. And we have like a lot of our toughest matchups at the beginning of the season, so I'm not too optimistic about it. But regardless, I still chose the Colts. But you didn't.
Yeah, because of that streak that I honestly had no idea that streak even existed or if they were that bad. But I just have a feeling that Indiana, and I'm just going to say the Colts. I don't know why I'm trying to pronounce long names, but the Colts are, I don't know. I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit to begin the season and then get their pace like they did last year during the later half. And the Seahawks are notoriously good to start off the season. So I think the Seahawks are just going to get off to a way too hot of a streak.
No, they have a slow start historically.
Seahawks?
Yeah.
They do? I always thought that they always started off hot.
Nah, I mean, Russell Wilson starts off hot. But as a team, they don't do great.
Yeah. But I still have the Seahawks. I think that they're going to start off the season pretty hot. Moving on. We got the Carolina Panthers first the New York Jets. I chose the Jets.
Ooh, this is such a cool matchup because it's Darnold versus old team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. And I love Rob Saleh, but I think he's going to have a slow start because he's not working with much after the dumpster fire that was Jets last year.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson looks great. Don't get me wrong. I think getting Corey Davis for him was a great move in the offseason because I think Corey Davis was one of those receivers that like has really high potential but was just at the right value where he's affordable just because he was he wasn't getting used a lot with the Titans. I think they made great moves in the offseason, but it's just going to take a bit to really get rolling. Whereas Carolina, they kind of know what they're doing. Like Matt Rule is in his second season. Obviously new quarterback, so like it'll be a bit different. But when you have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, like that takes a lot of the weight off you. I don't really know who Zach Wilson, like who's his running back. I really don't know.
Carter. I think he got a new running back in Carter because I remember Carter like destroyed us in the preseason, last preseason. I don't know where he came from, but I'm pretty sure they drafted him in the most recent draft.
Right. Okay. Tevin Coleman is listed as their starting running back. Carter's their third.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Tevin Coleman, didn't he play for the 49ers at some point?
Yeah. I think that's where he got his start.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, nothing notable. Definitely nowhere near the level of Christian McCaffrey. So, yeah, that's where it basically comes down to me choosing Carolina. Not that I think they're going to dominate, but I think they'll just have a little bit of an edge.
I'm picking the Jets because I just think how they ended the season last year. I know that shouldn't like really be a factor, but even though they had a shit season last year, they ended the season really good. They got like 2 or 3 wins towards the end of the season, and they looked really good. And they have potential, and they added in crucial pieces to that offense and defense, and I think that they can just pull ahead. And I just don't think McCaffrey will be enough for the Panthers to pull ahead of the Jets. So that's why I have the Jets. And to the Tevin Coleman thing, he actually started with the Falcons, which I should have known because I had him in fantasy a crap ton, and he won me some big fantasy games. And
he did play the 49ers at some point, though.
Yeah. His last 2 seasons were with the 49ers in 2019 and 2020, but his first 4 seasons were with the Falcons, and he's notably known for playing with the Falcons because he had a bunch of like decent seasons with the Falcons, and he was a main contributor to how the Falcons got to the Super Bowl.
He definitely had his best seasons with that lineup.
Yeah, and he only had 1 decent season with the 49ers, but the last season was not too good. I think he had an injury of some sorts. I mean,
he never got over 1,000 yards, so he was never anything special.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a decent like second or third back, which he's
the starter.
Yeah,
the issue.
Yeah, that is an issue. But like, he's a very good complementary back because he complemented Devontae Freeman very, very, very well.
All right. Well, next matchup is Cincinnati versus Minnesota. I feel like these are 2 teams that I cannot really get a gauge of whether or not they'll be successful or not. But I'm just going to go with the team that at least last season had a bit more success. And I know that Joe Burrow is coming back from an injury, and that was a main reason why Cincinnati didn't have that much success. But regardless, I mean, Minnesota's got Jefferson. They got Cook. Like, they have a lot of pieces that have really proven themselves. And on the Bengals, it's like, there's still a lot to prove. So that's why I'm going with Minnesota.
That is also why I'm going with Minnesota for those exact reasons, because I feel like Minnesota is a lot more defined as a team and proven as a team. And then I said this last podcast pretty sure, but Kirk Cousins is a lot better quarterback than...
He does not get his respect.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the top half of the league.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he's like a fucking Tom Brady, but like, he's a very decent quarterback. Like, 4 seasons in a row, he had over 4,000 yards, and he almost had 5,000 yards one season. And honestly, he almost had 6 seasons in a row where he had over 4,000 yards. But in the 2019 season, he had 3,600 yards, and he doesn't have that many interceptions. His total like TD to interception ratios 190 touchdowns, 84 interceptions, and since the first like 4,000 yard season that he had, he went 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 25-12, 27-13, 30-10, 26-6, and the most recent season last year was he went 35-13. In the last 2 seasons, he had over 105 quarterback rating, or just overall rating. So like, I think he's a very good quarterback. It's just that his only problem is that he can't win the big time games. And once he starts winning the big time games, then he will have a lot more respect on his name. It's just kind of a shame because I think he's a very decent quarterback, and I think that's how Washington and that's how the Vikings were good.
You know, I just looked it up, and I looked at NFL career leaders and the touchdown to interception ratio. Kirk Cousins is in 10th. Wentz is in 11th.
Yeah. That even furthers my point. Just very, like, insane. And I just don't think that Kirk Cousins deserves the flack that he gets for being, quote-unquote, a bad quarterback when he's decent. So I think that's why I have Minnesota. And let's move on to Tennessee versus Arizona. I have the Tennessee Titans winning over the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are very good, but I just think that the Titans have a little bit more of an edge over Arizona. And it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I think the luck will turn to the Titans side just a tad. But I could be very wrong.
I have some bias in the matter, and I think Arizona is going to shock the world and actually be very competitive in the West. I think a lot of people are looking at the NFC West and saying it's very stacked, and it very much is. And so it doesn't leave a lot of room for the Cardinals to make any big, like, impressions. But I think they're going to do it anyways. I think all four of those teams have an amazing chance to make the playoffs in that division. And, you know, Arizona is just going to get off to a hot start. I think they need to in order to be competitive in the current state of the league, just in the division they are in the conference that they're in. And with the players they have right now, like, they have I feel like they have a little bit of a small window to really work with what they got and make a Super Bowl run. I mean, Kyler Murray's young, but everyone else, like, you know, they're kind of getting to the point where it's just like they're not going to be at that value forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is Arizona's going to win.
Ooh, so that's a total of 3 disagreements so far.
Disputes. Yeah,
And
next is Detroit, San Francisco. I can't believe that this would ever be a dispute because I feel like Detroit is not a dumpster fire, but they're not good.
Yeah, I also have San Francisco. Detroit didn't add anything this past offseason. They actually lost.
They got Goff.
Shut the fuck up.
No, they had a great draft. I believe, just from what I've seen, I was like, okay, they're making moves there, but it's just like everything else it's not enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They might be competitive, I think, in the NFC, just because it's not as tough as the AFC as of right now. It's still gonna be hard. Just like, I don't know. It really depends on this new coach. Like, is he competent or not? But 49ers, like, as long as they're healthy, they're super dominant, and it's just like they're not going to be having the problems Detroit's going to be having. So,
and 49ers are also back healthy, and once they're healthy, they're really, really dangerous. I feel so bad for the 49ers because last year they were decimated with injuries, and they were like a top 5 team if they had all of their players active and playing. But I remember in the 2017 season as well, I was talking to a 49ers fan at the time in high school, and he was saying how many injuries they have on that team, and I'm like, holy shit, like, that's like sad. They could be like in the playoffs, like right next to Eagles, but like what I'm saying is 49ers have a history of having a shit ton of injuries, and I just feel bad for the organizations because they could have been great for so many more years than they already are. But let's get to the Buffalo versus Pittsburgh matchup.
oh man, this is going to be talked up so much because those fan bases are loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the last time they played, it definitely was the case. Buffalo won, I'm pretty sure, in their last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It was late in the regular season when Pittsburgh was on their downfall. I will get confirmation on that right now, though. I chose the Bills, though. Really no reason other than I feel like Pittsburgh's on a downtrend, Buffalo's on an uptrend. So, yeah.
That's the exact same reason why I picked Buffalo as well. I just think Buffalo's a shit ton better team than the Pittsburgh as of now, and I just think Pittsburgh is still a very decent team. I just think they're not going to have enough pieces together to beat a team like the Buffalo Bills, and they're not going to get a hot start like they did last year.
Bills was their second loss after Washington.
Damn, was it like 2 games in a row, right?
3, because
games.
Bengals was the third.
Oh, damn.
And then Colts could have had it all, but they were not rolling in the deep.
Oof. Next game, we got Atlanta versus Philadelphia. I chose the Falcons. Now, my reason for this is because a little reverse psychology. Hopefully the Eagles can beat, because when I normally do reverse psychology, the Eagles normally, not 100% of the time, but normally when I say that they're going to lose, and I actually put it on paper like this. So hopefully I'm rooting for the Eagles. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong in this scenario, but I just think the Eagles are going to get off to a slow start, lose their first few games, kind of go on a little hot streak, but I just don't think the Eagles are going to do too much this season, and I'm very, very excited for next season, though.
I chose the Eagles in a kind of also of a meta way of looking at it is just like last year I started off very optimistic of the Falcons, always saying like they gotta pick it up eventually, like their roster's too good not to, and then they just never did. Yeah, I guess I have Eagles instead of Atlanta for that very reason.
I guess we can go over to Kansas City Chiefs versus Cleveland. This was probably the hardest decision.
Really, I think it's Kansas City still. I feel like they're just at the top of. They're still a dynasty to me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the legacy that is still being written. And Cleveland, like they're definitely on the uptrend. They're in like their prime, I guess. Like they're in position that they could really make a stand against the top teams. But it's just what can you do against the Chiefs? It's the Chiefs, and I just can't see them losing their first game. Like that would, if they did lose, I would really set the tone for the season. But I just can't see it happening. Not with Andy Reid, not with prime Mahomes, everything else. Kelsey was just listed as a top 5 in the NFL alongside Patrick Mahomes. Like, just got to happen.
I agree with you there, and that's why I ultimately chose Kansas City Chiefs over the Browns. But the reason why it was such a hard decision for me because of their last meeting that they had in the playoffs. The Browns challenged them very well, and there were a few plays of beating the Chiefs, I think personally, and I think they're going – I can see, and I won't be surprised if Cleveland pulls this win out of their ass to beat the Chiefs.
But listen, Chiefs somehow got better. They improved their offensive line a little bit because their old offensive line was injury prone, and now they got younger guys who are not so injury prone, but still good. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's scary.
I agree with you there, and that's why I chose the Chiefs. But I would not be surprised if a few plays went over to the Browns side and Cleveland actually gets the win.
Yeah, I think an easier matchup next is the Saints-Green Bay matchup because Aaron Rodgers is sticking with the Green Bay at least one more year, probably just one more year, like 90% sure of that. And, you know, like nothing really happened in the offseason that, you know, people would say like, oh, they're going to be a worse team because – you know, like the biggest thing that could have happened was Aaron Rodgers, and that didn't happen. And, you know, no one else left. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't know if they got much, but they're still the same team that went to the NFC Championship.
So, 2 years in a row.
That's true. So Saints are without a generational quarterback now. Maybe Jameis Winston can make a stand and prove himself, but it's just not going to happen in this game.
That's why I also chose the Green Bay Packers as well, and the Saints have a lot more to prove than the Packers do, especially with Winston starting as QB. Now, Denver versus the Giants, I have Denver winning, but I can also see the Giants winning.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, but I just feel like Denver as a team is a little bit more put together than the Giants as of now. It's a toss-up, honestly, for me.
I agree. I think it's going to be Denver.
Yeah. So we got New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to pick the Dolphins. Or I chose the Dolphins because they are a lot better team than the New England Patriots as of now, and they were a very strong team last year.
Yeah, they're making a playoff run.
100%, and they're a lot more put together than the New England Patriots. I mean, if it's Max Jones' first game in the NFL, I don't know how he's going to do. And it's too many unknowns. And
they got like the best players from the defense back, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like they're still not. Also, they just have their offense is like completely revamped now that Cam Newton's gone, because they got like Hunter Henry, Johnny Smith, Nelson Aguilar, to name a few. Like, yeah. And they actually lost their Pro Bowl center to the Chiefs, Thuney. So it's just like a completely different offense. We really don't know exactly what to expect from this. Defense may still look very similar, but it's just the offense you got to be concerned about. And Miami has a great defense, so.
I agree. Next game, second to last game.
Sunday Night Football!
But we got the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams. I chose the Rams because I don't know what I'm getting at the quarterback position with the Chicago Bears. I don't know if did they name a starter? It's
probably Dalton.
We still don't know who the fuck's going to be a starter for the Bears. The Rams they improved so much. I feel like they were just one quarterback away from really exploding. I know they made it to the Super Bowl a few seasons ago, but the addition of Matthew Stafford is just going to put them at that much higher of a level comparatively to the past few years with Jared Goff. It's just a much stronger position to be in, and I just think they improved so much. So that's why I have the Rams over the Bears.
Matty Stafford MVP campaign. He finally has a chance because he's going to be on a winning team. I think that's just a beautiful sight to behold. Let's go. Let's go, Rams.
And then the last game, Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the Ravens for obvious reasons.
Yeah, Raiders. I feel like Raiders, they put up a fight despite all their issues last year. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep it together again. I think they're going to do worse, actually, this season.
I agree. They're a little bit of a dumpster fire as of now. And I saw this one meme. It was like the starting QBs for each of the, what division is that? The AFC
West.
AFC West. And I saw this meme where it was like all of the starting quarterbacks have the number of wins on their jersey. And it's like Derek Carr has like the number 4. Patrick Mahomes has like 15. And then I forget the other 2 quarterbacks. But I just thought it was funny to make that comparison.
That is kind of funny.
But yeah, I'm going to reset the camera. Last thing I want to go over, though, before we end it, we can do it very shortly, is just the fantasy side because of the league, because this is the fantasy football podcast.
Oh, yeah, we did have a trade. I guess that's the only notable thing to talk about, right?
Yeah, and we already kind of analyzed, like, the matchups last week.
We don't need to get into matchups.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we kind of, I don't know. I like that aspect. What can we, like...
I feel like we just go over the highlights of each week. We don't have to go in depth because I feel like that's kind of tedious.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're already going over the predictions of the NFL, and we're already talking about like standout impressions of each team. And there's just so much overlap between fantasy because those are players playing for those teams, you know? So
yeah, that makes sense. Well, like next week, will we go over like highlights as in like...
Yeah, we'll go over
performing?
like, oh, well, like what happened, you know?
Yeah.
But there's not much to really set up that we haven't already.
There has been a trade. I forget how you get to that, but it was between me and Titus, or Titus and I. Correct verbiage? I don't know. But I think it was, I gave him Logan Thomas, Myles Gaskin, and the guy with the Bills. I forget his name. The Bills running back that
Bills
I gave
running
you.
back,
It was
yeah.
Moss something.
Zach Moss.
Yeah, so I gave you that, and in return, I received Tanyan.
Rabitan.
I also received... Fuck, I forgot the other 2 players. What were the other 2 players that I received?
You got my boy. His name is Gus Edwards on Baltimore.
Yes.
And Raheem Mostert on the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, and...
Not my boy anymore, actually. I don't know why I said that.
But...
I got Gaskin. I was really pulling for Gaskin.
Yeah. I was hesitant a lot, mainly because of Gaskin, because Gaskin is Dolphins' primary running back. And I just... how he played last season was incredible because, like... He was injured a lot, but like the times he did play, he was averaging like 15 plus fantasy points in this league, which is insane, which I was hesitant to. But the only reason why I took it was because of Raheem Mostert. I like him, and he was injured last year as well, and he had a couple good games, but he is the starter of the 49ers offense, and if they go more running game heavy, then that's a plus for me.
He's also the fastest running back as in terms of on field during games, like top speed. Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines of the Colts are also in that conversation, at least in terms of last year. They both hit top speeds that were in like the top 10. But Raheem Mostert like was the top 2 positions, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And he was injured. So.
Yeah. And then I also like Gus Edwards. I was also a little bit hesitant on this trade because, or a little bit hesitant on him because Lamar Jackson is basically a running back or is very run heavy. with J.K. Dobbins as well, they're more of a dual running back or a very complementary running back system in place. But Dobbins got injured and out for the season, so that's what kind of pushed me to get Gus Edwards, or kind of pull my trigger on this trade, was because of Gus Edwards. And I think he's going to be running the ball a lot more than he did last year, but I just don't know how complementary they're going to be and how much they're actually going to run the ball with Lamar Jackson running a shit ton. And Robert Tonyan, I was a little indifferent. I personally would have Logan Thomas over Robert Tonyan. Tonyan is way too sporadic, and I have no idea why he's rated so high in the position, because
It's Aaron Rodgers. That's all it is.
Yeah, like he's fucking
If Jordan Love was starting,
his fucking position rank is third. Like, I don't understand. But I mainly got it because Edwards and Raheem made up for Gaskin, I believe, and I feel like they're a good dual running back situation. And that's what kind of pulled my trigger. And I'm so fucking like tempted to switch out Josh Allen for Trevor Lawrence, solely because Lawrence is playing against the Texans.
all right.
Should I make the move?
Hey man, that's up to you.
Yeah.
I personally would not be confident starting a rookie in their first game, but
Yeah. But my lineup as of now, I know we weren't going to go into this, but I just want to say my starting lineup for this week is Allen, Sanders, Robinson, Adams, Smith, Kelsey, Chanute, Dolphins defense, and Q.
there you go.
What does the plus minus mean?
Plus,
Oh.
minus.
Like on the... Oh, well, I can't.
Oh, I think that's like their trend of like if they're getting picked up or not, like drafted and all that.
Edwards is fucking crazy. He's a plus 41.5.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because J.K. Dobbins
Yeah.
is out. So
But it's insane because like everyone else is like a plus like 2 or 3. But it's insane. And then also, I know this is probably not related to the podcast, but how do you like zoom out on the spreadsheet? Because like I want to for a screenshot, because at the end of the
how
podcast,
are you zoomed in?
like it's like I can't see. Wait, I can't like the bottom part of.
That's just because you have to full screen your window.
Oh, so for. Okay, that makes sense.
But you can also go to. You see where it says 100%?
Yeah.
It's also a zoom.
Ooh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, kind sir. I always wanted to know that. That did not have anything to do with the podcast.
Please cut that out. That
I'm
was
keep-
terrible. I had to stand up and everything.
But people want to see that. People want to see you stand up. I'm just going to keep it in solely because it's at the end of the podcast.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
If you even make it this far, I don't know if anyone does.
Probably
I've
not.
never looked at the analytics or anything, the
Yeah.
retention, but we do it because we love it. And if
Yeah.
you don't love it, then fuck you.
Yeah. Bye.